How's it going, everybody? It's me, Shane. I'm here to give you another Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation episode review. It's season 2, episode 20, entitled Into the Labyrinth. Before I go any further, please make sure you head over to that like button. Hit it. It helps out the channel a lot. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification so you can be notified of more reviews just like this one. And I appreciate you all. So if you want to help support me even further, my Patreon link is in that description below as well. This was a good episode. We certainly did get to Rapan quicker than I thought. It is a reunion between Rudy and Elise. Lise meeting back up with Geese, Paul, Lilia, Talahan, the two girls, the one who was wearing revealing things and the one who got, assaulted. You only saw those things in the books, but yeah. Rapan is, like I said before, that demon consonant bigger. It's very Middle Eastern inspired. I mean, it's all the music that you hear. There's even a guy smoking a hookah. So yeah. But we get to one of the big things in here is get into the reality of like getting old and your parents getting older too. Now again, Rudy is 16. Keep making me feel like he's supposed to be in his early 20s, but no, he's 16. Which in the medieval swords and spells kind of thing, I guess, is adult. I don't really know or understand like the age typings for those type of adventures, but I mean, he is about to have he has started his own family, right? But Rudy even says, because Paul could barely stand up, he was despondent when they first came in, but he was so happy that they got there so fast. Geese seems, I just sent you a letter 6 months ago and they were able to get there fast. So all in all, this is a really good thing that Rudy decided to go here for several reasons, and we'll get into that. But we get Paul hugging him at his waist because he can barely stand up. He does stand up fully to meet Elinalise. Well, I'll get to him and her in a second. You get Rudy saying, Paul used to loom large over him, and now as he's looking at his father, he's pretty small here. And you just see kind of the look on Rudy's face because Paul is so hard on himself. He's like, I'm sorry. I couldn't fulfill my promise. I couldn't go find your mom. I couldn't bring your mom back. I'm a hopeless father. He says that a lot throughout this episode. He is so damn hard on himself. And it's a shame that they didn't get a chance to, I guess, grow as a normal family and under normal circumstances, because now while they're in this predicament of having to rescue Zenith, rescue Roxy, we get into that in a second, but they're taking time to speak now, before they had to rest before taking that day trip to get to the dungeon. I'll explain all about the dungeon in a minute, but we do get a nice moment where he's smirking the whole time while Rudy's talking to Lilia, and he's like, little Rudy's all grown up, having conversations with Lilia. He's like, you became a man then, right? So we should, is there anything you want to know? I should be able to answer this. I am your dad. And Lilia's like, Master Paul, why are you going to have this vulgar conversation? And Rudy's like, yeah, actually, like, Master Rudeus, no. And even Paul's like, hey, she's one to talk. She's the one that came on to me that one time. When doing it, she's pretty wild. It's funny because there's blushes and smiles all around with that. He's even showing off to Rudy in the labyrinth. On that first level, he zooms in and immediately kills a giant spider, even though Lise is supposed to take point. She even scolds him, saying, this is Rudy's first labyrinth. Act like an adult. We got to show him how this stuff is done. I'm going to get more into that scolding and nagging later. But, we get this good, funny moment when, Rudy even mentions that he married Sylvie because his father brought up Eris, obviously. And it looked like Lilia was, like, happy that he married her. Because you see her, like, silently exhaling Get a little joke, Grandpa Paul. And Paul's like, I ain't that old, all right? Which I think Paul might be pushing 30. Yeah, she's in his 30s at least. He's not all that old, funny enough. He just looks haggard because of all the shit they all been through. But yeah, he's showing off to his son and for stratagem. Even when they were stopping and resting every so often, he was talking to him, asking him questions. But once they get to the second and the third stratums levels of the labyrinth, he's focused. He's very, polishing the sword, making sure it's sharp and ready to go. It's very nice. Paul even apologizes to Elinalise. Now, this is what I'm getting here, because she said, Geese was like, go easy on him. She's like, I'll decide on if I will or not, right? And she does end up going easy on him, but Rudy doesn't even give him a hard time at all. But Paul, gets on one knee, says, I'm sorry about that one time. I really want to know what that one time was. Like, did it involve what we all think it involved? I mean, she made it kind of obvious that it was a relationship type of thing. Hell, even though you could tell she has some type of care or love for Zenith, I feel like it's around him bringing her in. Cause she even mentions, you haven't been this giddy since the first time Zenith joined the party. So it's gotta be something around those circumstances. But she even reaches her hand out, helps him stand up, and he says, I'm sorry. He even thanks them, and she's like, save your thank yous for later, because it's nice. It is a reconciliation for a thing that we have no clue what it's about. It would be nice if we got like a prequel to all of this. And of course, they're making a plan, and Rudy is like, so where's Roxy? And he wonders if she's dead. He even asked that, but he's like, I don't want to know. He's like freaking out, having a panic attack. And I greatly appreciate how this was gotten across to the viewer, because we can hear clearly Geese and Towelhand and everyone talking, but they steadily get muffled. And I have been in that situation where you're getting rough, life-altering, heartbreaking news, and it just feels like everything's getting muffled. And Geese saying, we gotta admit, we haven't seen her in a month. She's gotta be dead, right? And Towelhand's like, no, that's not true. And even with Rudy hearing but not listening, he's like, she's a king class water mage. She's cracked dungeons by herself. She can't be dead, right? He's literally, you see the fright on his eyes, and it's that friendly hand of Elinalise touching him and giving him a gentle smile that snaps him out of it and brings him back. I appreciate that. But the biggest highlight of this episode is he does save Roxy. After some tips, Tallhand, who is the gay dwarf, we see him checking out Rudy's butt. Very funny. I think he's married as well. I think he is actually married. But Tallhand gave some hints, right, for this dungeon, because it's Rudy's first dungeon. Don't use fire a lot, because the poison can build up, especially on the other floors. And Rudy's like, he must be carbon monoxide, because they don't call it that in this world, right? He says, don't attack the ceiling. Try not to use water, because you don't want to have cave-in, so you use ice. He even says, yeah, you and she's definitely your master, because you all have the same spells. And we get a moment when they're walking on this third stratagem, because they're like, yeah, we gotta find her. We're gonna find her first. And even Geese, who, damn, he looks like a monkey, asks, based on your tuition, boss man, because he's calling boss, reminding him that they had served time together, the Dodia village, right? And he asks him, what about your intuition? Rudy's like, what do you mean my intuition? And he hears that blip, that sound of water. And that's all it takes to click, because if Tallhand tells you don't use water, there's not a lot of water in here. He's feeling around, he listens to it, and we see Roxy fighting off these giant grubby worm things. There's these golems that have like a skull in the middle of their chest, and they are being teleported in by a circle. So she essentially, I guess in D&D terms, got put into a kill room where I guess she's been defending herself for a month, or maybe she's been trying to navigate, because we find out through the book that Rudy brought, the teleportation book that he got from the university. Good job, Rudy. Good job bringing a map. It was even remarked upon that, usually it would take them a while to get through each level, but he brought a map, and was like, yeah, I brought a map, so essentially it should be faster, and it is faster. But maybe she got teleported on this floor, the third stratagem. Every circle just sends you to another place on that floor. So maybe she got transported into this kill room, but remember, she can't do spells silently. So she's puts up earth wall, then she hits them all with water, then she hits them all with a freezing spell, and it's working. But then they're breaking through, and the little spiders that come in web her staff, and all looks lost for her. And you feel, I'm like, damn, it's getting close to getting to the wire. Is he actually gonna get her this? And I like how they did it here, because this was made for a great ending. She says, Sasuke, she's like, save me, I don't want to die. With that camera placement, just trying to do an upskirt too. Don't think we didn't notice that. And she's, about to have one of those she's about to die, right? So it's like, I don't want to die. All of a sudden, right before that grubby worm gets her, everything is frozen, shimmering blue, and Rudy comes in and is like, I got to you. And I love this shot. This being the ending shot of the episode, so nice. All the blue from the ice, him looking at her looking at him, and she looks at him, and he looks at her, and it looks really good. I like this a lot. So now they have an extra hand, although she looks pretty worse for wear. Outside of healing her, I don't know if there's anything else they can do, because it looked like she had she was drained or exhausted of mana during that confrontation, that almost endless confrontation. I already mentioned that the book from Rudy helps amazingly. Geese was able to determine, going through the book, because I guess he's the intellect guy, he's the talking guy, he's the rogue, the rouge, if you would, right? And he was able to discern from the book that they had gotten all the way to the 6th stratagem. I don't know how, stratum. I don't know what I'm gonna assume that stratum means level of a labyrinth, but he was able to discern that they had gotten all the way to 6. So how much left is there? Maybe there's 7, maybe there's 9. Those are little round-ish numbers. I already mentioned Lilith being happy about him marrying Eris, which was just some of the non-verbal body cues in here are very, very, very nice. But yeah, no, it's a good thing he came. If he didn't come, Roxy would have died. It probably would have taken even longer for them to get through this dungeon, and they wouldn't have had the book. Kind of makes you wonder, why would the human manga tell him not to show up? Is something even worse about to happen? The information about Zenith, though, because Geese is the information dude. Someone that looked like her came into that dungeon with the party. They never came out. When Rudy's asking questions, was she here for 6 years? Paul's like, I don't know. And with every question that he asks and Paul doesn't have the answer, you just see that Paul's just like, I'm a failure. I actually feel bad for him. I remember when they first showed up and I was all team Rudy, punching him in the face, but I actually feel bad for Paul in this situation, because he tried his very hardest. But Rudy's here, and just like he tells Tall Hand, who says, yeah, your son's really something. He's like, yeah, this is my pride and joy. That's my boy. That's my baby boy. I love it. The animation for the action, so good. Seeing Lise and Paul go at it with these spider things. They're so fast. They're very strong. It's almost like you expect it from an elf, but just the fact that Paul's able to swing through and slice up these things, very nice. You could tell how advanced and adventuring he is. They are, actually. But yeah, it's good thing he tagged along. Hopefully everything is okay back at home. You do have Lilia asking about Aisha. You know, is she doing her duty? Yeah, without her, we would be lost. She's not being selfish, is she? I kind of be more comfortable if she was being a little selfish, right? I like that. I like that she's, yeah, Aisha has a strict mama. That's just, yeah. But fun episode. If anything, those action sequences and those non-verbal, just get into the emotion of the characters, those are so good in this episode. Definitely gonna give this a 4. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna give it a 5. I'm gonna give it a 4.5. I'm gonna give it a 5 because just the 5 is for that ending part, just in and of itself. You didn't make us wait a whole episode. You didn't make it a whole episode with a flashback. You said Rudy notices it. We see what she's going through. We can only guess that maybe she's been fighting these things for a month, maybe. That's a possibility. But this was really well done. I like the emotion behind it. I love the characters making up and catching up. Even the one thing I did miss was Elinalise, you know, when Paul asked, so did you even do it with Rudy? And she's like, no, I did not. I'm married, mind you. And he's kind of like, what kind of fool would get married to? And Rudy's like, hey, it's a really good friend of mine, Cliff. You know, just be easy, Dad. And he's like, oh, I'm deeply sorry. Paul has grown. He's still Paul, but Paul has definitely grown. So I'm looking forward to more of this. I remember last week I said we'll probably go up to 24, 26 episodes. So if next episode they finally get to the end where they can find Zenith, because she's gonna be at the end. They get to the end where they find Zenith, and you see that big battle in the intro. The big battle is all over the intro. You know they're gonna fight something big. That's episode 21 and 22 be the big fight. Maybe 23 they go home, and 24 Paul says they're gonna have a big party. So 23, 24 is the building up to what's gonna happen next time. But you know, turning point. We had turning point episode. You always gotta wait for that other shoe to drop. I guess the shoe dropping is Roxy possibly being dead, but not being dead. Good for you, Rudy. Good for you, Roxy. I look forward to seeing what comes of this. If you know, you know. But please, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I gave it a 5 out of 5. What are your thoughts on this episode of Mushoku Tensei? Do not forget to hit that like button. It really helps out the channel. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified of more anime reviews like this one. I still got some things to do. And yes, one of you, I wish I would have wrote your name down. I think it is Duelist. Just call you Duelist. You asked about Pokemon reviews. I'm coming back with those Pokemon reviews. They're coming back this week for sure. If I got to do 5 episodes at a time like I did for Shaman King, and I got to finish that, or if I got to do them individually, just shoot them all in one day and just piecemeal them out as I can, they're coming back this week for sure, guaranteed. Pikachu's honor. So thank you for taking some time out. Listen to me talk about Mushoku Tensei. Do not forget, hit the notification bell to be notified of more reviews like this. Be good, be blessed. Wash those hands, drink some water. Be safe out there, all right? Be good to yourselves, be good to others. Either way it goes, please don't be a jerk, all right? Remember there are people out there that care about you. Be a good friend. Just like Elinalise is being great to her, technically her grandson-in-law. Be a good person. Sometimes people need us, and a lot of times, just like Rudy was just there for Paul and it made the difference, sometimes just being there is all that matters. And I want you to know I'm here for you. There are people out there that care about you, that love you, that would rather talk to you today than to miss you and mourn you tomorrow. So reach out to somebody, I implore you, or you reach out to someone else. I implore you to do the same. If you want to get in contact with me, my social media is in the description below, right underneath that Patreon link. Give me a follow, send me a message, say hi, say you came from the channel. As long as you're not a jerk, we'll be fine. All right, guys. I can't wait to see what happens next week. The action seems to be ramping up a bit. Hopefully we break down a little bit, because it was talking and feelings and then action. So maybe it'll be a little bit more action and then talking and feelings. I'm looking forward to it. Until next time, I don't have a sign off for this, but I'll see you next time. Oh, wait. I almost forgot. I didn't tell you the next episode's title. Next episode's title is called The Magic Circles of the Sixth Stratum. So I will see you next time. Here's to the Sixth Stratum.